Please be seated.
You may bring the jury. Thank you. Cross-examination. Yes, sir.
Can I call you Buster?
Yes, sir.
I'm John. And I want to first off tell you I am sorry about your mother.
Sorry, I can't hear him.
I'm sorry about his mother,
Well, if you step back a little bit, I can hear you.
and I'm sorry about your brother,
Thank you.
and I'm sorry about your grandfather.
Thank you.
He was nice to me when I was a young assistant solicitor. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't have any questions for you, Buster.
Okay.
When you are leaving the main house, you told Mr. Griffin that the main entrance was the brick entrance,
Yes, sir.
but there's also a side entrance or by the kennels or
Yeah.
entrance exit.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just a totally different entrance.
And the mailbox was at the side entrance.
Yes, sir.
The kennel entrance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why was that? Do you know?
I don't know. I think it's just I really don't know.
I don't either. But the packages would come to, you said the kennel side?
They would come to the shed.
Okay. And a lot of times y'all would use that kennel entrance exit to go just like you'd use the main one, right?
Yeah, you would. I would say that I more so tended to use the main one, the one that I say is the brick pillars. But yeah, I mean, you could certainly leave either way.
If you were leaving the main entrance and you got down, you're leaving the house and you're going toward the brick, and then you know where it's kind of a Y where it kind of cuts off to the kennel too, right?
Sure.
So you go straight or left. If you were leaving at night going straight, and if you were looking out to the left and the lights were on, you'd be able to see the lights on at the kennel just from that little Y, wouldn't you?
Maybe, depending on what lights were on and whatnot. I mean, if it was fully lit up, maybe.
Okay. And just from that Y, instead of going straight, from that distance, you'd be able to, if the lights were on fully, you'd probably be able to see them.
Maybe, yes, sir.
Almeda, where your grandma and granddaddy were, is that close to the, I think it's close to the law firm, isn't it?
Almeda?
Yes, sir.
Close to the law firm? I wouldn't say so. I mean,
How close?
Anywhere in Hampton is close to anywhere in Hampton because it's not very big.
Fair enough.
But I mean, it's a 10-minute, 12-minute drive out to Alameda, I would think, from the law firm.
I think, Mr. Duck, could you bring up 131? Can I ask him to do that? Sure. I know Mr. Harper been exposed, this is Mr. Griffin's witness. So you don't have to get, but you see, is this kind of where you said everybody would park?
It's right. So if you look,
You mind if I come up here?
no, sir, you can. So if you look right off this point,
You might want to come down here if you don't mind, just the jury. There's a road where you go in.
So if you look right over here, this is kind of what I'm referred to as like the back corner of the house. And it would basically, you would come around, there's a big oak tree here, you come around it, and then you basically pull up, and you would probably stop the hood of your car right in, right off the back corner of the house.
So it'd be closer to here than over here.
Be about right in here.
So right in here.
Yeah, I mean, because you don't want to pull up super close to it. Yeah, be right out.
But there was a driveway paved driveway in here, right?
There is a paved driveway over towards the side of the house.
Okay, and really not many tire tracks. The grass looks good in here.
I don't know when these pictures were taken, but it's a little dead right there.
But there is a driveway, right?
There is a driveway.
Okay, you can have a seat back. Thank you, please. When did you first mention that to anybody about parking in the yard there?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, when did you first discuss that with anybody as far as where cars parked at your grandma and granddad's house? When was the first time you talked to anybody about that?
Couple days ago.
A couple of days ago? Okay. That's the first time you mentioned that?
Sure.
Okay. And then that would have been after Shelley testified, right? Shelley Smith?
I guess I don't really remember when Miss Smith testified.
Miss Smith. Did you bring that to somebody's attention, or did somebody ask you about it?
I couldn't. I'm not sure.
And I think you keep forgetting I'm on cross. You testified that. How many times had you been there with your dad? I wasn't quite clear with your answers to Mr. Griffin. I'm not trying to be difficult, Buster.
I understand, and I can't give you an approximate number, but I mean I've been out there with him several times.
And would you always call? You said you called. Did you always call when you got there?
Yeah, I feel like most of the time you would call just to tell, because the ladies get nervous. If you hadn't called and they see a car pulling in the driveway, it's just easier to call and let them know, like, hey, we're going to be pulling around. Please unlock the door. We'd like to come in.
Had you ever been over there at 6:30 in the morning?
Have I ever been out there at 6:30 in the morning? Just like overall,
I guess.
I've been out there at 6:30 in the morning before going hunting and whatnot.
And you called then also, right?
Well, that was
going into the house.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I would just let them know, especially 6:30 in the morning.
Sure.
Okay. Your mom loved Edisto, didn't she?
Yes, sir, she did.
I love Edisto. She was actually getting some work done down there, wasn't she?
Yes, sir, she was getting some work done on the house.
And on this date, June 7th, literally there were people inside doing work that day, weren't they?
I think so.
Yeah. And her plan was to stay down there that night, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't know what her plan was.
You had, I think the last time you'd been to Moselle, you said was the spring, maybe a few months prior to this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have to say yes for the court reporter, not for me.
Yes. Sorry.
And you talked to your mom that day on June 7th?
Yes, sir.
And I think you had talked to Paul the last time on the 5th, if I'm not mistaken, June 5th. That's what you told in one of the interviews.
Sure.
Okay. And Mr. Griffiths, to ask you about the financial troubles and that have come out here, you had no knowledge of your dad's financial difficulties at all, did you?
No, sir.
I mean, you really didn't.
No, sir. I really didn't.
And as far as you knew, financially, the family was sound.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You went to Wofford.
I did go to Wofford.
Go Terriers, for the record.
Thank you.
But everything, as far as you knew, financially was okay. And when did you learn it wasn't?
I guess on September whatever that day in September was.
So back in the birthday, I guess for your dad, Memorial Day down at Edisto,
Sure.
defense exhibit, and I apologize, I don't know what number it was just played. I believe Mr. Chris Wilson is hugging your dad.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He's a family friend.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You didn't know then that your dad owed Chris Wilson or stole $192,000 from him, did you?
I did not.
And I'm not saying that to be mean, but you really didn't know that.
That's correct. Didn't know.
And the boating accident that Mr. Griffin asked you about, that was pressure on the family, wasn't it?
I don't know that pressure's the right word. I mean, it's definitely an uneasy feeling. You know, your brother is criminally charged, and then you, myself, and my father have civil charges. I mean, definitely unsettling.
I mean, it caused stress within the family, didn't it?
It was stressful. I wouldn't say within the family, because I mean, you know, we supported each other. And
Sure. And I'm not questioning that, but I mean, your mom felt ostracized.
yes, sir.
She even more so wanted to stay at Edisto.
Yes, sir.
It really, I mean, you were a little frustrated with Paul yourself, weren't you?
In
Just
terms
as far
of
as using your ID and getting all that, and that case is over, okay?
sure.
But I mean, you didn't like it when you used your ID yourself. And I'm not trying to go anywhere, Buster, but he'd use your ID sometime and you didn't want him to.
Mr. How many questions you going to ask?
I'm
Questions, comments, what's the question? What's the question?
Did you like it?
Yes, sir.
Did he used your ID, didn't he?
Objection's overruled.
I'm sorry. Can you say it again?
Did Paul use your identification?
Yes.
Did that frustrate you?
Sometimes.
Okay. You were shown the tree video with the shirt and the pants. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
When you saw your dad on the night of June 7th, what did he have on?
When I had made my way up to the house, he was wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
And who laundried his clothes?
At that period of time, would have been Blanca, and then my mom also does laundry sometimes.
But on a day-to-day, did Blanca take care of your dad's clothes, laundering, cleaning, folding?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Griffin asked you about, let me do that. You never went back to Moselle. after this incident?
Well, I mean,
Or
after
did you?
if you take June 7th on June, I mean, I've been back to Moselle since then, but I've never slept another night at Moselle.
And did your dad? Let's strike that. Beg portion though. Beg court's indulgence. Did your dad try to get you to go hunting out there again one time, or suggest it?
He asked if I wanted to, and if I wanted to, that I could.
Or you didn't want to?
No, sir, didn't want to go.
That's all I have. Thank you, Buster.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Redirect.
Buster, if your mother, when she went to Edisto and stayed for multiple nights, would she take Bubba with her?
Yeah, usually she'd take a combination of Bubba and maybe another dog, Grady.
Okay.
She would take dogs with her, yes.
And you understand Bubba and Grady were at Moselle the night of June 7th.
I do, yes, sir.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Anything further? Thank you. Let me step down. Your next witness.
Dutton.